Hurricane Camille. Winds up to 175 miles per hour. Tides nearly 25 feet above normal. A crushing combination for anyone living along the Mississippi coast when Camille made landfall on August 17, 1969.
It's 10 o'clock in Biloxi now, and the eye of the storm is still over 2 hours away. The wind is so strong one can hardly stand up in it. The rain is torrential, streets are flooded, there is no power, everything is black.
Camille is one of the great storms to ever hit the Gulf Coast. It's the only Category 5 storm to hit in the northern Gulf, and it's a very unusual event for that to happen.
It was a very, very strong, very intense hurricane. And one thing we know is that stronger storms can produce a higher storm surge, and Camille produced one of the highest storm surges we've ever seen.
I thought it was the worst thing in the world that I had ever encountered until I met Katrina.
Peak storm surge was up to 24 feet. Only Katrina had a higher surge in the U.S.
I think this was another case that people just couldn't believe if you're in some pretty sturdy building on the other side of the highway from the Gulf of Mexico, that the Gulf could actually come up 20 feet or more and plow all the way inland and take your building away.
A cubic yard of water weighs 1,728 pounds, and when that hits, it's like something that weighs that much hitting you. People think this water's soft. It's not soft, especially when it's coming in rolling like that, and it'll batter anything down. You know, all you got to do is look at what was left of the coast when it got through battering them.
Camille killed over 250 people and caused $1.4 billion in damage, which would translate to about $9 billion today.
It was like 68 square miles of total destruction. 5,556 homes destroyed, a great many more terribly damaged, and the whole Richelieu apartment went down over in Pass Christian. One of the great myths of the storm is that 24 people died in the hurricane party at Richelieu, and that's just not true.
Charles Sullivan is the author of Hurricanes of the Mississippi Gulf Coast, an archivist at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. He was a National Guardsman during Camille and got trapped with his crew in a barn. Their amphibious vehicle was no match for the overwhelming surge.
Well, we're up in the ceiling and we can't get out because the snout of the thing is above the door. Well, I don't think I've ever known terror like that. I mean, that is absolutely the most terrified that I have ever been, and I think anybody that was in it would say that.
Rescue Blue and White, come home. All rescue units, come home.
There's a whole part of the Camille catastrophe which is not as well known as the landfall on the coast of Mississippi, and that is that days later, its moisture-laden remnants moving across West Virginia and Virginia created these thunderstorms with torrential downpours, moving slowly, dumping huge amounts of rain, and producing a disastrous flash flood there.
Over 150 people died in Virginia from the mountain slides and flooding.
People in Virginia were surprised by Camille. Overnight, the circulation came out of Kentucky and moved to the east. They weren't expecting that. And then the moisture interacted with the mountains. It was like Mother Nature took a huge bucket of water and just dumped it on Nelson County there in the central part of Western Virginia.
And my house was under 12 feet of water. And I've seen about all my family has had destruction of their homes. And I hope I never see nothing like this again.